Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Jolby and Ghosty and Chip.
This is Ensiferum Victory Song.
Yep, the Extreme Underground Alliance has picked this one.
The XU. The Extreme Underground.
If you guys have an intro video, I do not have it, so somebody reach out to me and let me know.
Yeah, the most recent edition we had for
True Cult
was a True Cult.
So if you're wondering, like, what are the alliances? Alliances are people that are grouped together. They're on Patreon. Basically, everybody can be part of the village. If you watch our videos once a year, you can still be part of the village. But if you want to be part of the clan, then you jump onto Patreon, and you can jump on for as little as $1 a month. And then that enables you to be able to get into different, there are a few different groups. So is there 5?
I think it's currently 5.
Yeah, there's like 5 different groups, and those groups work together to get us to react to the music that you guys choose. So, if you're interested in that.
It's really cool though. There's community, subculture, all that jazz. Get down with the clan. A lot of talk about music,
but also lots of talks of other things as well.
Life, things of that nature. It's really, really good stuff. So this is that. For timely, topical, political commentary, you can hit us up at, did D-Sage make a return? Or is this a very
maybe this is an old one. Maybe this is something he...
When was it due? December 21st.
No, he put...
March 24th.
Oh, he edited it on March 24th. Well, somebody said he jumps in and out, so...
Alright, shout out to the big homie, Damon. Okay. So, this should be interesting.
If somebody said, you're going to have to meet up for dinner with somebody from the village, and it was going to be him, and I would be very nervous because I don't know a thing about him. I know you wouldn't be. I'd be very interested, but I'd also be very nervous.
I'd bring my gun.
No, I'm saying if I had to meet up with him by myself.
Just in case.
If you know who I would be, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but one of the people that I would be the least worried about is if I was meeting up with Ben Webb, because I feel
100%.
I feel like we'd see another side of Ben. I'd be like, wait, Ben, no insults, what?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'd be all nice and very congenial.
Oh, you opened the door. Thank you.
Yeah, he'd be very, very congenial.
Now, if he's around us, he's gonna have to not do that so he can prove us wrong.
Well, Ben is on my bucket list, so.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna meet him before I go up to the alien.
So okay, so I still have you for a bit longer. That's
nice.
For
sure. All right, let's do it. This is Ensiferum.
Yes, victory song.
Let's go. This is like Legend of Zelda.
those sounds are always so moving.
Yeah.
You know.
That folky sound.
Yeah, and you know, they're talking about, like, they're honoring their past, and I don't know.
Brothers fighting side by side. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the sound at the end where it gets completely quiet, and then you just hear the sound of the bagpipes, but you hear the wind and some water, and then it just becomes, the bagpipes stop too. Sad.
Yeah. I had beef with these guys one time. They jumped me in my, well, they didn't jump me. They jumped my friend initially. It was the first, I tell you this story, it was the first snowstorm. It was the first snowfall of the winter, and everybody was throwing snowballs, and my friend said, yo, none of them snowballs better hit me.
That's right, I do remember that.
So then we were in their area, I mean, so they all surrounded him and threw a snowball right at his face, and I was like, it was us two, and there was like 14 of them, Jesus. And I was like, so I just took off my book bag and I gave it to, actually, to Kara. I said, hold my book bag. And, so, yeah, it didn't go well. So, I remember being really, I was just mad. And I got home, my mother was horrified. I mean, she was, you know, she's a registered nurse. So she's like, they could have killed you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, it didn't kill me, man. It was like, I mean, it was bad. It was a bad situation. And at the time, like, we were ninth graders, so I hadn't gotten into anything. I didn't know anything about anything. We had just came up from Brooklyn, so we had no people and nothing. And my brother was just like, my older brother, he had gone to the school for 3 years. Nothing ever happened to him. But of course, as soon as I show up there, now there's a problem. And he was like, yeah, man, just chill. And I was like, nah, I'm getting those guys. I was like, I don't care. I'm getting them. It's completely delusional. So it was a Friday, and I had it in my mind, like, I was like, yo, I'm getting those guys. And so I stood there by the bridge, and my brother shows up, and then my other friend who we got jumped with, he's like, yo, man, this is not going to be good. I was like, nah, it's just, and I don't even know what I was upset about. Like, that's how it goes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really understand what I was really angry about, but I was very angry about something. And he was like, and so my brother, like, he had this thing of Vaseline, and he's like, here, put this all over your face or whatever. And those guys were there every Friday on that bridge, and I was gonna find, there was this kid Damien, and I was gonna go after him, and da-da-da-da-da, because I was so stupid. I had boxing, taekwondo, blah, 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 blah. So I knew how to fight, but, you know, it was 2 on 10, you know what I mean? So I was like, yo, I'm gonna catch this guy, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was just, you know, but anyway, long story short, they never showed up. And it wasn't because they were afraid. They didn't even know that we were waiting for them. They didn't even know that. They just, for whatever reason, obviously, as a Christian now, it's like, that would have, you know, things would have gone very, very bad for us. But I was just so stupid. But when I was hearing about the whole brothers thing, you know, brothers fighting side by side, it was like,
we're outnumbered.
that was a crazy moment. Like, I didn't really understand the significance of that moment until like 2 or 3 years later, when I understood, because my older brother understood how these things went. I didn't know about boxcars, I didn't know about guns, I didn't know about any of that stuff. You know, to me it was just like, you basically, you caught us slipping, you know, there was 10 of you guys, there's 2 of us, you know, but it's like, okay, now there's 3 of you. Like, and honestly, my best friend was a more like able self-defender than my brother was anyway, but it was just, but then a couple years later, you know, as I was going to school and I saw things happen, and then, you know, then you start realizing, like,
how bad it can get.
If you don't carry your weapon, like, you're done. Like, that's what it means to get caught slipping. It doesn't necessarily mean you're outnumbered. It means that you're walking around and you don't have a weapon on you.
Right.
I was like, oh, I got these weapons. It's like, these people that talk about how their hands are registered. Remember that time that guy was fighting out there? Well, he's about to fight out there, and I went to break it up, and he's like, oh, I'm glad you broke it up because my hands are registered. You know, I can't. You know, it was like that stupid mentality that people have when they take self-defense classes and they don't understand like streets. Because I was never a street dude. I was not a street guy. You know what I'm saying? I was a, you know, so. It wasn't until later when I realized that what my brother actually did for me, because because I was so dumb, and I couldn't be convinced, because you know how I am. Like if I have something in my head, like I don't care who says what or whatever. I don't care. Like I'll do it myself. Like, but he's my older brother, so he's gonna, you know, that was like, I've never actually had a conversation with my brother about that until, you know, like. When I really realized what he did, like the guy literally put his life on the line for me, and it wasn't even anything noble. It was just I was mad, but he couldn't let me be in that situation by myself. And again, he had gone to the school, no problem. Truman High School, no problem. He was. That's
so cute, though.
You know, he was gonna graduate on time and all that shit.
If he's not the type of person that wants to engage in conflict, but then
not a violent guy.
You know, his baby brother's in trouble, and so he's gonna get in that situation, even though it's ridiculously against the, you know, the odds are stacked against him.
And he never once carried a weapon.
And the other thing too is if you're not the type of person that wants to have, you know, what do they say, violence of action, then that he probably would be the person that would get the most hurt in that situation.
Yeah, I'm like, again, I mean, the thing is like we were in Co-op City, and you have different sections, and you know there's section 5 and da, and like the school was literally like in their section. Like, so it wasn't like a one-time conflict. It would have been like, let's say that there's only like 4 or 5 of them, because it was 4 or 5 of them. Like, I feel like we could have really hurt those dudes. Okay, then you go to school on Monday, you idiot. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And dudes got
exactly. Then what?
And they shank you up at gym. Like, what are you thinking about? Like, we would have been done, because like it's not just that one moment. Like the whole like there were so many like random acts of violence that came out of nowhere at the time, and it looked random to an outsider, but it was one of those things where dudes were just waiting. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, okay, that's the guy. All right, guy. You just let. And then after a while, you think everything goes, you know, blows over, and then your guard's down, and then bang, that's when dudes get you. So I never actually have had a conversation with my brother about that situation, because I really didn't know what he did. Like, we were out there for like 5 minutes. He's like, all right, those guys are soft. They're not going to show up. I'm like, nah. We were out there for like a half an hour, and they never showed up. It was unbelievable. Like, I'm looking at it right now in my mind's eye. Like,
that's crazy.
It was obviously, you know. And by that time, I'd gotten it out of my system for whatever reason. Like, you know what I mean? But, so that's a beautiful thing. It's a horrible thing because of the circumstances. You know, brothers fighting side by side and all that. And you know, like the whole Saving Private Ryan. You know, these brothers are dead and there's only one guy left, and all that. But there is something about your brother being willing to step up there and do that for you. You know, there were these dudes messing with my brother's girlfriend one time at school, but it was Maine. You know what I mean? I was like, what? So I got up. He's like, just chill, sit down. It's like it's not even that deep. And we were in Maine, like, well, you know. He's like, come on, man, we're in Maine. Like, I can handle these guys myself. But yeah. I you know, you understand my relationship to violence and things of that nature, but it's like, I don't know how to say it. It's very hard not to romanticize war sometimes, I think. Or we were just talking about it in the Bible boogie about like communities and fellowship, and we were talking about all the different subcultures, the music subculture and the religious one, obviously, because it's the Bible boogie, and then Dan brought up, fighting and, like UFC and rolling and the whole Chinese proverb, you don't know someone until you fought them, and the community that gets formed around the two people in conflict in physical altercation, like, and unless you've been in it, you can't understand it. And so that's why I always say, like, I am a pacifist by conviction, and I'm a recovering violence addict.
Yeah.
You know, and I use those words very, like, literally. That's what I mean. You know.
I think for me, obviously I've never been in a war type of situation. I've never been in a, you know, teenagers in the hood situation. Like, I've never been in any of those types of situations. I mean, the closest I can come to is I went and, you know, kind of stood up to my friend's boyfriend because he was being a typical male.
Being nice and considerate and loving, like typical male.
Not that type of typical male. Just
Your
he was
friends-
using her. He was using her.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, okay. Yeah,
typical male for someone who's not into a girl and just wants to, you know, obviously if the guy's in love, but he wasn't in love with her. So, but other than that, and that's not something that we were fighting side by side. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was,
Yeah.
I went by myself.
Yeah.
But, I can see how, like, when I watch different war movies and I see the guys banding together and they make it through at the end, or I can see that kind of camaraderie, and I do think, oh man, that would be cool to be in that. But I think because I don't know, like, something changed in me.
You think it would be cool to be in that situation?
No, I think it would be cool to be in a situation where you fight side by side and your life depends on theirs and their life depends on yours. And you really, really have to band together and you sacrifice for each other. And you, like, I feel like, I think we've said it before, that war brings about, like, so much evil and there's, you know, death and all that stuff. But at the same time, you see like golden nuggets of human character and what it is to be brothers. And like when the Twin Towers fell and like just people out in the grocery store were so nice to each other. And I remember being sad when that passed and wishing that another disaster would happen because it kind of brought people together. And
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's weird that sometimes it takes tragedy to bring closeness and stuff. So I can see here these people, it's like, this is life or death, not just for themselves, but for their people as a whole and for their culture and for everything. So as they're fighting, it's like, it's all or nothing. And I like the way that they word it. I like the way that they, you can hear their music in the background. But it was weird because it was like one part where they were talking about what it sounded like we were in a pub.
Really?
Right, the swords in their hands, they killed each and every man who dared to invade their sacred land. It was like real,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's always funny to me when that is done in a song, when it's like, if you didn't hear the words, you would assume they were singing about something happy.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and then whatever that Nordic language was,
Yeah.
The braves of the north didn't give in before the threat. Again, the sky dome rumbles, blood stains the snow. Many don't get to see tomorrow, many will be missed. Land remains peaceful for progeny. Songs for victory will sound forever. You know, that's just like, yeah, you're fighting for your progeny at the end of the day. Like, that's what a lot of these dudes that go on these situations and they know that they weren't coming back home, but a lot of it was about, you know, like, I think in the modern world, like, you have war, especially as an American. I mean, quite frankly, they're wars of conquest and empire expansion. They're not about, like, you're not facing an existential threat to your actual existence. That's why modern warriors will talk about, I'm not really fighting for the flag, I'm fighting for the guy next to me.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
warriors back then, sure, they were fighting for the guy next to them, but they were fighting for their kids. Because if they lost, that's it. Wife, kid, all that, it's over.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
your wife is going into a harem and your kids are going to be slaves, like, period. So it wasn't just I'm fighting for my brothers. But whereas now it's like, you know, guys are like, we're basically getting murked out. I mean, Trump came out and said it, you know, he's basically murking out our troops to the Saudis. And so it's like, you don't believe in what, like, the Yemeni people haven't done anything to us. Like, we don't have any beef with them. Like,
Yeah.
And so, like, moderns, you know, I'm not saying that old school soldiers didn't love their brothers. Obviously they did. But when you don't have, like, this to your core belief that you're doing a righteous thing and that there's an existential threat to your family, then it's only about that.
Yep.
You know, it's the line of Black Hawk Down, you know, is like, You know what I think? It don't matter what I think. Just watch your corner, bring all your men home. Like, that's not what's going on here. Like, this is different, you know. And so warriors, like, throughout time, things have evolved. And
well, it says defend our homeland.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have that here.
Yeah, I mean, there is some of that, oh, we're going to Iraq, they got WMDs, we fight over there, so we have to fight over here. But, I mean, it was very, very quickly, dudes realized, like, this is just, you know, whatever it is, but it's not that. Like, our kids are not in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's in Afghanistan thinking, yo, if I don't kill these Tally, they're going to come to America and enslave our kids and rape our wives. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just different. So,
Right.
The song, I enjoyed it. Fight with the Rage of a Bear. What do you give the song?
I can't give it high points because I feel like this type of theme has been done a lot. So it's probably going to be like an 8.2.
It's getting a 9.3 for me because lyrically the theme has been done a lot, but the way they did the music, I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was an obvious like systematic build up, and I like what they did with the instrumentation. 11-minute song, but it didn't feel like that for me, so it's a 9.3 for me. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.